because whole idea was to understand the concept of capital budgeting. So once we know all the concept of capital budgeting, now it's a time we understand how to make those cash flows. Okay, so whenever you are making a new project, so you have to determine the cash flows. And for most of you, in the companies, you make your own project cash flows. If it is a small project involving a cost saving or a profit
So your
improvement.
voice is breaking.
अभी नहीं आ रही है मेरी voice?
बीच में.
Is it okay now?
Yes, sir.
Acha. So I'll just move slow. Project cash flows. Okay. Can you read, Akshay?
Estimates of cash flows are a key element in the investment valuation. So far, we have assumed that cash flows are given because we wanted to focus our discussion on investment criteria.
So, up till now, what we have done is we have understood all the concepts, of calculating, appraising the projects through various capital budgeting techniques, like, net present value, IRR, MIRR, and payback, approaches. Where we have understood how do we appraise a project, and the cash flows were all given. Fine. So now the time has come that we should understand how do we, calculate those cash flows. Okay. Read further.
Estimating cash flows. The investments, outlays, and cash inflows after the project is commissioned is the most important but also the most difficult step in the capital budgeting.
So basically, it is involving estimating cash inflows. So what we are going to do is that we have to calculate, how much will be the cash outflow when you start a project. So you have to spend some money on equipment, machine, buying an office or a building or a factory. So all that will involve, a lot of money outflow. And thereafter, once the project is commissioned, then you will start, having cash inflows when you make your products and sell them in the market. So you are going to generate cash inflows. So we need to find out how do we do that. Okay, so we'll be understanding the whole today's lecture will be focused on that. Okay.
For forecasting project cash flows involves numerous variables and many participate in this exercise. Capital outlays are estimated by engineering and product development departments.
Hold on. Forecasting project cash flows involves numerous variables and many participate in this exercise. This is very important. When I was working in organization with various companies, so I was, involved in doing these projection of, cash flows. Being a finance guy, my job was to coordinate. Basically, I will get all the inputs from various departments. Like, capital outlays are estimated by engineering and product development departments. How much money we are going to spend on the project will, be given by the engineering department. They'll tell, what kind of machines we are going to buy, what kind of equipments we are going to buy. And even the IT department is they're going to tell, how much new equipments or new computers or new systems they are going to buy. And of course, there can be some administrative, furniture, fixtures and other things we'll be buying, and some, cars or vehicles will be buying. So all this given by main cost is given by the engineering and the product development departments. When I was working in telecom, so there was a network department basically headed by the network chief. So I used to always approach him and find out, what kind of cost we'll be incurring, how much, new towers we'll be buying, how much, equipment we'll be buying from Nokia's and Ericsson, and what will be their cost. So similarly, yeah, go ahead.
Revenue projections are provided by the marketing group.
So, then you look at the marketing people, the chief, again in telecom, I used to look at the chief marketing officer and ask him, what will be the new customers, the new connections he'll be bringing in, how many new people will be subscribing to our network, and how many more mobile customers we'll be getting. And then on that basis, we'll have to make revenue projections. Okay.
Operating costs are estimated by production people, cost accountants, purchase managers, personnel executives, tax experts, and others.
So then you involve others, when you are, trying to work out the cost. Then you go to again to the production people, the cost accountants, the purchase people, who they are going to buy, all the raw material and equipment. The personnel executives, they are going to tell you, how many people they are going to deploy, how many people we will be hiring, who will be basically involved in this project. and then the tax experts with regard to what will be the tax laws of the country and how much tax will be paying. Okay, so if you look at I was giving example of a telecom this thing. So when I was working in telecom, so we used to find out, what will be the total capital involved, what will be the capital outflow on account of, setting up the network for the company. Suppose, like in 2001, at that time, in 1995, the telecom industry started in India. So till 5 or 6 years, there were hardly anything happening. But in 2001, the telecom companies started doing good because of the change in the policy of the government. So we were launching new towns and cities. I was in Madhya Pradesh, so we were going to start new towns like Gwalior, Indore, Bhopal. So we had to put a lot of towers on the rooftop. Okay, so you will identify how many new subscribers we'll have based on that. How many towers will be needing, and there were some ground-based towers, covering the roads or the highways. And then there was a telecom exchange which is called a switch or an MSC, which we are purchasing from Nokia or Ericsson. So we are supposed to find out what will be the cost we'll be incurring on all that to start our telecom in a city like Gwalior, Indore, Bhopal, and cover pan Madhya Pradesh, and then we covered pan India later on, and we were present in all nook and corner of India. So it involves a lot of cost basically when you this thing. So we have to calculate that. Then we do revenue projections basically, as I told you, and finally you make the revenues. You make an income statement. For example, you will have some historical numbers for the last couple of years, and then you are going to forecast. Okay. So what will be the revenue, what will be the expenses, and what will be the profit you are going to make. So we're going to understand that more in detail. Fine. Okay, read this.
Forecasting project cash flows. The role of a finance manager is to coordinate the efforts of various departments and obtain information from them. Ensure that the forecasts are based on a set of consistent economic assumptions. Keep the exercise focused on relevant variables and minimize the bias inherent in cash flow forecasting.
So the finance manager, he is the main guy who is coordinating, okay, with all other departments. So as a finance person, I was, going to the production chief, the marketing chief, the HR, chief human resource officer, and everyone, getting all the inputs regarding, suppose the company is supposed to launch a new, product or a new this thing project. So then we are supposed to make forecast based on what we are going to, how much cost we are going to incur, what will be our revenue being generated from the project. Okay, so economic assumptions, for example, in a company where I was working, a company called SRF, where we were using diesel for generate, I mean, firing our DG sets, because we were making our own power. So the power was generated through I mean, through the DG sets, the diesel generating sets, and the fuel was diesel. So we should know, how the crude oil price is going to behave in the next few years. So based on that, we'll calculate, what will be the diesel price. Then, dollar versus rupee equation, basically. Are you able to hear me? Okay, hello. Hello. Can you hear me?
You are on mute, sir.
Yeah, actually, there's a power of hair. So actually, I've come to a different place now where I have a UPS here in the room, but there's no fan. Okay, so as soon as the power comes, I'll, move on back to my place, original place. Can you see me now? Okay,
Yes,
so
sir.
I'm just putting the presentation again. Acha, the power has come. Okay, can you read now? So this we have read. Okay.
Presentation not visible,
Acha,
sir.
it is not visible. So I'll just hold on. I'll do that. So power has come, so I'm just moving back to my room. Okay, where I was giving my presentation. Okay, yeah, I am back again. Can you hear me? Okay, can you hear me?
Sir,
Yeah, so there was some power, failure here. Now I think it has been sorted out. So if it happens again, then I'll be, there will be same kind of a this thing, but it doesn't normally go, power doesn't go here. So we have a, 100% power backup, but normally it takes time, 2 or 3 minutes to, convert your, to the DG power. Are you able to hear me properly now? So,
Yes,
okay, so
sir.
I'll just, again share my screen and, okay, can you see the PPT?
Yes,
Okay,
sir.
so Akshay, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so, okay, just read now.
To evaluate a project, you must determine the relevant cash flows, which are the incremental after-tax cash flows associated with the
So
project.
basically,
This is the elements of the cash flow
Yeah.
stream.
So basically, you have to look for the cash flows, after paying all your taxes. Fine. How much cash the company is going to generate. So that is more important. Okay. Fine.
The cash flow stream of the conventional project, a project which involves cash outflows followed by cash inflows, comprises of three
So
basic
there are three
components.
basic components. Initial investment, how much money you're going to put in a project. What will be your operating inflows? Once you have, spent the money, then the time has come now to generate revenue for the company. So you'll have cash inflows. Okay. And finally, the terminal cash inflow, because each project will have a certain life. For example, suppose you bought a new machine. Yeah.
Sir, your voice is breaking.
Okay. Is it okay now?
Your voice is breaking. I'm not sure.
Hello.
Uh, Sir, sometimes it's okay, but sometimes it's
Okay.
breaking.
So
Could you
What about
repeat
others?
once again? Just
Sir,
could you
sir,
repeat once again?
better you switch off your camera, then you can get the
okay.
better
So I'll
quality.
do that.
Then we
I'll
can
switch
utilize
on
the
the
better quality.
switch off the camera so that uh, okay. Is that okay now? Are you able to listen to
Yes,
me?
sir.
Yeah. So, there are three
Yes.
kinds of, now you can just tell me if you are able to hear my cat voice properly, okay? So, there are three kinds of cash flow streams. One is the initial investment, and then the operating cash flows, inflows, and the terminal cash inflow. Basically, when is my voice okay now?
Yes, sir.
So basically, if you look at what is the initial, investment, can you read, Akshay?
Initial initial investment cash outlay on capital expenditure when the project is set up and net working
So when you
capital.
are going to start a project, you have to spend a lot of money, both on your capital expenditure as well as, on the working capital. For example, you are going to buy raw material, and you have to keep a lot of inventory. So that is all nothing but working capital. Okay, fine. And then the operating cash flows, yeah.
After tax inflows resulting from the operations during the economic life of the
So that
project.
means, how you're going, how much cash you're going to generate from this new project. So there'll be some cash inflows. And finally, the terminal cash inflow. Okay.
After tax cash inflows resulting from the liquidation of the project at the end of its economic
So
life.
suppose you have bought a new machine. Suppose the life of the machine is just 5 years. So after 5 years, you're going to sell that machine. Okay. Because it has become now, you can't use them because it has become either obsolete or, unserviceable. So if you get some money from that, so it's a terminal cash inflow. Fine. So at the end of the life, you're going to get some money by selling that old machine. Okay, so it's called the terminal.
So this terminal cash flow is the same as salvage value?
Salvage value. Absolutely, you're right. Okay, so so there are certain rules. Okay, so after these rules, we'll be doing all the practical questions. So just understand these rules. Can you read, Akshay?
Incremental principle disregard sunk cost, include opportunity cost, always adjust for taxes, ignore financing cost, product cannibalization, exclude allocation of overhead cost but include incremental
So
overhead
these are
cost.
certain rules, when we make our cash flows. So we look at the incremental principle, which means, how much incremental cash outflow or inflow will happen because of, starting the new project. Because the company may be big, so it may be, already, having a lot of cash flows from the existing, business. So we don't look at that. We just look at how much new, cost will be incurring and how much new cash will be generating, the incremental cash. So we just focus on that. Then if disregard sunk cost, if we have already incurred some cost in earlier years, so we don't again include in our estimating the project viability because that cost has already been incurred. Then include opportunity cost. Okay, so we'll do that through an examples. Okay, so incremental principle. Okay, just read this.
The cash the cash flows of the project must be measured in incremental terms. To ascertain a project's incremental cash flows, you have to look at what happens to the cash flows of the firm with the project and without the project. The difference between the two reflects the incremental cash flows attributable to the project. That is, cash flow, project cash flow for year, cash flow for the firm with the project for year, minus cash flow for the firm without the project
So
for the
basically,
year.
you look at the project cash flows for the year, which is equal to cash flows for the firm with the project for the year minus the cash flow for the firm without the project for the year. So that means how much new cash flow you are going to incur if you have started a new project. There will be some outflows, there will be some inflows. Without considering the company, what cash it is spending. Okay, so what we'll do, we will just straight away move to a question. Okay, and we'll come back to this all theory a little later.
Sir, your voice is breaking
Okay,
again.
okay. So I am just leaving this. So what we'll do, we'll start a question. Okay, practical, so that you can then we'll go back and understand the theory. Okay, just read this.
A Naveen enterprise is considering a capital project. The investment outlay on the project will be 100 million. This consists of a 80 million on a plant and machinery and 20 million on a net working capital. The entire outlay will be incurred at the beginning of the project. The project will be financed with rupees 45 million of equity capital and 5 million of preference capital and 50 million of
So
debt
basically,
capital.
this, we are actually moved on to a practical question so that you can understand, the theory we will cover little later, and we'll, we'll go back and understand the theory, and at the same time, we'll understand through our practical understanding of this illustration. So there is a company called Naveen who is considering a new project, which will involve a cost of 100 million. So 100 million is the equivalent to about 10 crore rupees. So this consists of 80 million on plant and machinery, 20 million on net working capital. So they are going to spend 800 million, which will be 80 million on plant and equipment and 20 million on net working capital. So the net working capital is basically the cost of inventory, the receivables, because you will be selling goods to your customers and they won't be paying upfront. So some money will get blocked into your debtors. Will be receiving after some time. So you always have about 20 million being blocked into net working capital. And of course, you will have some, money which you have to pay to your suppliers. So your suppliers also finance your working capital. So it's your current assets minus your current liabilities, which is called the net working capital. Okay. The entire outlay will be incurred at the beginning of the project. Okay. So all this money, 100 million, will be spent in the beginning of the project. So project will be financed with 45 million of equity capital, 5 million of preference capital and 50 million of debt capital. So this is how you are going to do. Basically 100 million will be out of 45 from equity, 5 from preference capital and 50 from debt capital. Okay, read further.
Preference capital will carry a dividend rate of 15% and debt capital will carry an interest rate of 15%. The life of the project is expected to be 5 years. At the end of 5 years, fixed assets will fetch a net salvage value of rupees 30 million, whereas net working capital will be liquidated at its book
So
value.
basically the life of the project is basically 5 years. Okay, and the cost of capital as it is given is going to be around 15%. So at the end of 5 years, the fixed assets will be sold at 30 million and the entire working capital will be recovered at its cost which you have incurred. Okay. Okay, further.
The project expected to increase the revenue of the firm by 120 million per year. The increase in cost on account of the project is expected to be rupees 80 million per year. This includes all items of cost other than depreciation, interest, and tax. The effective tax rate will be
So basically,
30%.
your revenues will go up by 120 million per year. Your cost will go up by 80 million per year. Okay. So this cost is basically, excluding the depreciation, interest and tax cost. The effective tax rate is 30%. Okay.
Plant and machinery will be depreciated at the rate of 15% per year at written down value method. Hence, the depreciation charges will be first year this, second year this, third year this, fourth year, fifth year. Calculate the project cash flows, find the NPV of the project, assume the cost of capital
Okay. So
15%.
this is basically, the question. So what I'm doing is now I am opening my Excel sheet. So you can also open your Excel sheet. Okay. Just open your Excel sheet. I have already shared, an Excel sheet earlier. Have you got that Excel sheet? All of you? So अभी सब लोग अपनी एक्सेल शीट खोल लीजिए. Okay, which I have shared. Of course, you open it in your PCs, and then I'll just show you how we do this question. Have you all opened? Akshay, are you there?
That Excel sheet seems to
Yes,
be
sir.
different. That Excel sheet seems to be different than this
So
one.
you send the different
No, no,
sheet on me.
no. The Excel sheet which I have sent is a class exercise. Don't open that. Open the Excel sheet which I have shared you. I mean, at this about 2 weeks back, which came from Mr. Vinod Sinha. Okay, open that.
Wait a minute.
If you don't have, I can just share again. But there is an Excel. There were a lot of PPTs and Excel sheets which I have shared.
So what is the name of this Excel sheet, sir?
Okay, I'll just see. This is basically.
लेक्चर पीपीटीज फॉर
हाँ
प्रोजेक्ट फाइनेंसिंग
उसमें है ये
Project cash flow new.
हाँ प्रोजेक्ट कैश फ्लोज न्यू या दिस वन
Project cash flow
हाँ.
new.
Okay, open. Okay, so we'll start. Okay, so this is the question. Are you able to see the question? The same question I have put it on an Excel sheet, so which says question Naveen. Are you all here? Akshay, you just let me know. अच्छा.
Yes, sir.
अब आपको क्या हाँ.
Naveen.
हाँ. Okay. Just read the first line.
Naveen Enterprises considering a capital
Okay, so this is the
project.
same thing. So what I have done is, so I have put the fixed cost 80 million. Okay, this 80 I have put here. Fine. Okay. Why I'm doing it? I'll just tell you. Net working capital is 20, so I have put here net working capital. Is that okay? So I'm just
Yes,
bringing all the numbers outside because I'm going to make a cell reference. Okay, I'm going to link my file with a solution. Okay, then cost of capital is 15%, which is given here. Okay, the NP of the project considering the cost of capital 15%. Salvage value 30. Salvage value is given here 30. Okay, sales 120, cost 80. Okay, tax rate 30%, which is here. Depreciation 15%, which is given as 12 first year, then 10, 8, 7, and 6. So I have picked up figure. Is that okay?
Yes,
now
sir.
we go to the answer. Okay, fine. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just make it blank. Okay. So what we are going to do is we are going to put a plus sign here and go to Naveen. So what you do is you also make it blank. Just make it blank. Have you all made it blank?
सर इन प्रोजेक्ट कैश फ्लो न्यू फाइल आई डोंट सी दिस क्वेश्चन द शीट व्हिच यू आर शोइंग
नहीं है, बिल्कुल होना चाहिए. अक्षय,
व्हाट अबाउट
It is on first sheet.
It is a first sheet.
Rajat, उसको
हाँ
scroll करो.
नीचे स्क्रॉल करो. I mean go to the first sheet.
Page up,
हाँ,
page
आप
up.
आप ये देख रहे होगे, यहाँ देख रहे होगे. आप नवीन पे जाओ.
ओके सर
Have you got it?
Got it, Rajat?
सर दिस शीट ओनली हैज वन शीट at least what I am seeing from the email.
What is the name of the
Maybe I am looking
file?
at wrong.
Rajat, last
Project
payment.
cash flow new.
Rajat, I uploaded in the WhatsApp group.
हाँ, वहाँ से ले लो आप.
Okay,
हाँ,
प्रोजेक्ट
Thank you.
appraisal WhatsApp ग्रुप में देख लीजिए, उसमें मिल जाएगा आपका.
thank you.
okay. So now what you have to do is basically go to the Excel sheet and erase all the the answers which I have written. Okay, so we'll just redo it again. Are you able to see this sheet again, Akshay? So are you here now, all of you?
Yes. Yes,
And
sir.
have you
Yes, sir.
deleted everything?
Yes,
Have you
sir.
all cleared everything?
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
Yes,
So
sir. Yes,
fixed
sir.
cost. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to put a plus sign here and go to fixed cost, 80. Is that okay? And
Yeah.
net working capital,
Yes, sir.
which is given as 20. So all the money the company is going to spend upfront, 80 and 20. Okay, so the company is going to spend everything immediately. So I'm just going to make it, red. So this is basically cash outflow. Okay, so this is the money which company is going to spend. Year one. So this is year zero. Okay, in the year zero, the company is going to spend 80 and 20 million. Now revenues will start coming from the year one. So revenues will be how much? Revenue is
120.
120. Okay. So just
120.
and then you can just make it 120 every year. Okay, because the revenues are remaining same. So this is the first example where I've kept the revenues equal. But of course, we'll do another question where revenues will also go up as the years go up. So as we are assuming the revenues will remain constant for the 5 years. Okay. Then the cost. We go to cost and the cost is 80 and we just spread this 80 here. Fine. So what we can do is that we can just make it dollar sign so that it doesn't changes, and then we just make it 80. Is that okay? Revenue cost agi. Then we
Yes,
go to
sir.
the
Yes,
depreciation.
sir.
Okay, so we pick up the depreciation from here. Fine. And then we have to just put the depreciation for the other years like this. Okay. So depreciation is already given, so you don't have to calculate, though it is 15%. So, but the numbers are given to you, so you're putting the depreciation coming from there. Okay.
Sir, what is 15% depreciation?
I'll just tell you. I'll just tell you. So that is 15%. We can even we can do it like this also. Okay. We just put a plus sign here, go to 80 and multiply it by 15%. So you'll have the same number. Okay. Fine. सी ये दिख रहा है आपको यहां अगर मैं इसको हटा देता हूं ओके ये हटा रहा हूं मैं आई एम जस्ट पुटिंग लाइक दिस सो व्हाट आई कैन डू इज आई कैन पुट अ प्लस साइन हियर गो टू 80 ओके multiplied by 15%. Is that okay? And then in the next thing, what I do is I go to again 80, then I minus this 12, put a bracket,
And then
and then
15%.
15 into 15%. Yeah, absolutely right.
Yeah, got it.
Into 15%. This. Okay, fine. And then I put a plus sign here. Then I go to 80 minus this minus this, and then put a plus close sign here. Into you do this way, okay? And because in your other questions you will be doing this way only. Are you all getting it? All you understanding?
Sir, this depreciation will
Yes,
always
sir.
be calculated as a written down value only.
If suppose in the question it is given, it is on the written down value basis, then written down. If it is,
No, but on a practical industry level, it will always be like that, or
yeah,
it will be
no,
flat.
no, it will be on the actual industrial level, it is normally like this. 80% is like this.
Okay.
20%, there are two
Okay, sir.
methods. One is called the written down value method. Another is called, so this is, written in caps, written down value. There is another method called straight line method. Straight line method,
Method.
SLM. Okay. So companies, like 80% of the companies, they are using written down value. 20% companies can use straight line method. So this is just normal, kind of a thing. or maybe this is 90% and this is just 10%. It will vary, it will
Thank you,
vary
sir.
upon company to company. Fine. Then I can do it like this, minus all this stuff. So do the way I am doing it, because this is the better method, because you will be doing most of the questions in our next this thing, which will be based on. So then you have to do multiplied by 15%. Fine, and then you can just make it, is that okay? Then put your plus sign here, minus this, and minus this. So this will be your profit before tax. So this is your revenue, this is your cost, and this is your depreciation. So this is your profit before paying any taxes. Is that okay? ये आ गया आपके पास?
Yes, sir.
Then tax. So what I can do is I can just bring this tax rate here. Okay, fine. And then I'm going to do this into this. Okay, and make tax as a constant figure. And then I can just simply copy paste everything. Is that okay?
Sir, in year 0, is there going to be any tax or negative tax, something like
because
that?
company is making profit every year. Company is making profit every year, so there will be a positive 30% taxation. In case if there is negative, then there will be no negative tax, but there will be a carried forward loss. So we are going to do that in our next few questions. Okay, so just hold. Here we are assuming that there will be a positive tax which the company has to pay every year.
So my question was on year 0. So let's say company has a overall profit and loss where this 80 and 20, right, 100 million. In year 0, this will reduce the overall tax burden on the company
No, this
level.
is year 0.
So should we take into account that negative
What's
tax?
your good name? Rajat,
Rajat.
actually this is the year 0. It is not any year. So it is at the beginning of the year, company has spent 100 million of tax of cost. Fine. So when you spend, you make a capital expenditure, then that capital expenditure is not allowed as income tax deduction. Okay, fine. It is only the depreciation which is allowed. Fine.
Okay.
So depreciation we have already taken here.
Okay.
Fine. So there will be no negative like item and advantage we'll have. Okay. Fine. This is year 0. This is not year 1 or 2 or something. This is assume this is just the beginning of the year. All the money company has spent. Okay. Fine. So company's actual operations have started from here. Okay. So company has claimed the depreciation on this cost of 80 here like this. So this will be allowed as deduction. Okay. Now profit after tax, which will be this minus this.
Minus.
Okay. So you just make it like this. ये आ गया? Is that okay?
Yes,
Then the net salvage value. So we are going to put in the 5th year, 15.
30.
In the 5th year, we are going to get all this money, which is salvage value 30. Okay. And remember, the company is going to also recover this 20 lakhs working capital back into the at the book value. So that means all the raw material inventory, all your customers are going to pay all the amount. Because this is the 5th year, which is the last year of the project. So you're going to collect all your customers' dues, and you're going to send all.
Sir, can you please repeat your last line? I'm unable to hear.
With regard to the net sellers value.
Is it happening with everyone? I'm again unable to hear.
Okay.
Yes, voice is
I'm just going to repeat.
Yes, sir. Your voice is breaking.
अभी break हो रही है?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Sir, we can hear you
Okay.
now. Yeah, please
So
go ahead,
net
sir.
salvage value, what I'm doing is I'm bringing it from here. Okay. This is the the machine, the life of the machine is 5 years, and after 5 years, you're going to sell it for 30 lakhs. Okay. You bought this machine at 80 lakhs and depreciated it. Okay. But in the end of 5 years, you're going to sell this machine at 30 lakhs. Okay. अभी मशीन पुरानी होगी, ऑब्सोलीट होगी, आप इसको बेच दोगे 5वें साल के एंड में because you're not going to use this machine anymore. Is that okay? Then recovery of working capital. So
Yes,
all
sir.
that working capital which you have spent at the start of the project, you're going to recover that. Okay, at the end of the 5 year. Okay, so now you can just put this, cost. In the initial investment is how much? This 80 and 20. Okay.
So the recovering of working capital क्या है?
See, it is like this, that you have spent 80 lakhs and 20 lakhs in the 0 year. Okay. 80 lakhs was your, equipments, machines, building, whatever. And 20 lakhs you have spent in, procuring raw material. Assume that you have only raw material with you. Okay. Fine. So you have purchased your raw material, and this raw material which you have in the 5th year, there will be no raw material, isn't it? All the material which you purchased has been sold. So all this money of 20 lakhs will be recovered by you, your company, isn't it? जब आपने अपना प्रोजेक्ट शुरू करा था तो आपने रॉ मटेरियल खरीदा था, अब वो रॉ मटेरियल तो बिक गया आपके पास ये 20 lakhs तो वापस आ गया होगा, इसका मतलब you don't have any raw material on your factory, okay, or any
तो सर ये right तो ये part of revenue नहीं होगा?
हाँ, वो एक्चुअली क्या है कि this was the same question being asked basically in some of the lectures I have been taking earlier. So at the moment, just think that this is over and above your revenue. Okay, fine. Because since you have spent this money, you are going to recover it. Okay, and we'll be doing some more questions, in some more examples in future. So you will be able to understand this. So if you have not followed why we reduce 20, just think that this we have to put. Okay, and as we do more and more questions, so this will, put in your mind, it become clarity. Okay, fine. So you don't worry about why I'm putting 20 at the moment here. Think that whatever money you have spent in the first year, you have recovered it fully. Okay, over and above all these sales, you have got this 20 lakhs extra. Just think like that. Is that okay? अगर अभी आपको समझ नहीं आ रहा तो just stay with that understanding. And then as we do more questions, you will understand this concept. Okay. So initial investments, I am going to put a minus sign here, and then I'm going to put a plus here and so this will be minus 100. Okay. Fine. Initial investment is this. Now operating cash flows. So I'm going to put my here this thing plus profit after tax plus depreciation. So this is my inflows. Okay, fine. So this is my operating cash flow. So how I have done is the profit after tax plus the depreciation, because the depreciation is not going to take away cash. So the cash flow will be the profit of the company plus the cash plus the depreciation. So this is the cash which the company is generating. Is that okay? Is this clear?
Yes,
then the terminal cash flow, I'm going to just put it like this here. Okay, fine. And then I'm going to have the cash flows. Okay.
सर ऑपरेटिंग कैश फ्लो में डिप्रिसिएशन ऐड क्यों किया?
दोबारा कर दें. देखो क्या है, दिस इज द कैश. नाउ दिस इज द प्रॉफिट, isn't it? Okay, this is the profit, and if we add depreciation, it will convert into cash flow, cash inflow, because the depreciation is not an expense which will involve cash outflow. Okay, देखो डेप्रिसिएशन से कैश तो कंपनी का बाहर जाता नहीं, कंपनी ने जब ये पैसा 80 मिलियन और 20 मिलियन स्पेंड करा होगा उस टाइम कैश गया होगा. So this depreciation is not involving any cash outflow. Okay, so we are just adding the depreciation to calculate my cash flow during the year. Okay, तो मेरे पास 19,60,000 तो कैश ये आया, प्लस 12 लाख जो मैंने डेप्रिसिएशन डाला हुआ है उसको मैं ऐड कर लूं तो आई विल हैव टोटल कैश फ्लो ऑफ 31,60,000. Okay, and in the terminal year I have got another 50 lakhs. So this is my cash flow. Okay, and then I'm going to just put it like this. So this is my cash. I have spent 100. I have got all this money. Okay, fine. Is this clear? Please ask me again your question. Have you followed how we have calculated the cash out?
Yes,
ये cash outflow समझ आ गया है?
Sir.
ये समझ में आ गया?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Now,
Sir, in net cash flow, meaning, is there any difference between operating cash flow and net cash flow for year 1 to 4?
Yeah. The only the net cash outflow is for the year 1 to 4. It's same. In the 5th year, I'm getting 50 lakh rupees as salvage value. Okay, so I'm adding this. Is that okay? ये ऑपरेटिंग कैश फ्लो में और नेट कैश इनफ्लो में द फर्स्ट 4 years or first 0 to 4 years they're same. In the 5th year, because I'm selling my old machine or I'm getting my recovery of working capital, so my cash will go up in the 5th year. Is that okay?
Yes, sir. Thank
Then I'm going to calculate the net present value. Okay, fine. So for that I need to calculate. What is my cost of capital? 12%, isn't it? 15%. Yeah. Sorry. Cost of capital is how much? 15.
15.
Yeah. So okay. So I'll just put my cursor here. Okay. Go to formulas. Okay. And go to the present value. Rate is how much? 15%. So I'll just I'll pick it from here. Okay. 15%. Okay. Then NPR I'll take 1. And future value I'm going to take this value. Okay. And I'm going to put a minus sign here. Okay. And enter. So this will be 20. So this value of 31 lakhs is today's value is 27.48. If I calculate the present value by taking 15% as cost of capital, and so my present value will become 27.48. Is that okay? This 31 lakhs which I'm receiving after 1 year is the present value of this is 27.48. The present value of 31 lakhs which I'm going to get after 1 year, if I have to calculate what is the value today, the value of today is 27.48 after I have discounted it at cost of capital. Is that okay? Then I'm just going to copy all this like this. Okay. Fine. So here what I'm going to do is I'm going to make it 2. Fine.
2.
Okay, so I'm not getting it. Suppose I copy it.
Can you repeat the NPV?
I'm just doing it.
सर ये E14 E15 आ रहा है जबकि 15 वैल्यू आ रही है माइनस D15, ये 14 होना चाहिए.
वो कोई अभी करते हैं. पहले ये हमने क्या करा? Somebody asked this question. Okay, I'm just going to answer it. So this 31 lakhs which is going, the company is going to receive after 1 year, isn't it? Who asked this question? Who was the lady? Girl? Yakshita. Company is going to receive 31 lakhs 60,000 after 1 year. Now we want to know what is the present value of that 31 lakhs 60,000. If I have to receive all this money today, how I'm going to get? Okay. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to just go to the formulas and pick up, the present value. Okay. Rate is 15%. 15% है ना? Okay. NPR is 1, and future value is 31. Okay. Fine. And I'm going to put a minus sign here. Right? So the present value is 27 lakhs. So जो आपको यक्षिता 31 लाख रुपीस 60,000 आपको मिल रहा है 1 साल के बाद, उसकी आज की वैल्यू जो है 27,48,000 है. If I'm going to discount this at 15%, the cost of capital of the company. So I'm going to do the same for all the years, and then I'm going to make a change here, 2,
Okay,
and
sir.
make the change here, 3, okay, and make a change here, 4, and make a change here, 5. If you just write 15% directly, then it will behave properly. If you write the link, then you have to make that also in dollar terms, okay? Then you will get the same. So have you got this? ये आ गया आपके पास?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yes. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add all this, okay? Okay. So this is actually in green, okay? This is not in red. Fine. So NP will be how much? NPV will be 28 lakhs. So it's getting a positive NPV. So should we go ahead with the project or not?
We can
Yeah,
go
because
ahead,
we are
sir.
getting a positive. So
Yes,
we can
sir.
Very well.
calculate the IRR. Okay, so we can go to the formulas and pick up IRR. Okay, and pick up all the values and say okay. So what is the IRR of the project? 25%. And what is the cost of capital? 15%. So that's why we are getting positive NPV.
50.
Isn't it? The company is giving a return of 25%. This project is giving 25% return for the company, okay, per annum, whereas NPV is positive. So this is the NPV and IRR we have calculated, and you can also calculate the MIRR, which is a better indicator. So we can go to the formulas and calculate the MIR. So here we'll pick up all the same things like this from here to here, okay, and finance rate is 15%, the cost of capital, and reinvestment rate we assume it is again the same. So you have the MIR as 21%, okay. So both the things are leading towards that we should go ahead with the project because both are giving the signal that the company is giving a positive return to the shareholders, okay. Have you all got it? What is it?
Yes, sir.
Could you please repeat, sir?
Now, when we calculate the IRR, it is coming 21.5%. But when I calculate MIRR, I am getting 21%. Can anybody tell me why I am getting lower? And what is the difference?
Because I think investing is the same as per discounting rate.
Actually, in
Reinvestment as per discounting rate.
yeah, absolutely. Because here in IRR, I am assuming that whatever cash I am going to generate each year, it is giving me a 25% return. Okay, this cash, all I am investing is also giving me 25% return. But since this project doesn't require all this cash, after that this cash becomes free cash. So it will be deployed in some other project. So here, when I'm deploying it in another project, I'm assuming that I'm going to deploy in a project which will give me the cost of capital, which is the expected return, where my stakeholders or my shareholders want at least the company is going to put money into those projects which are going to generate 15% return. So that's why the MIR has fallen, okay? Because 25% return assumed that all these cash inflows were getting redeveloped or reinvested into the same project. But here I am assuming that the cash flows which have been generated by the existing project is getting redeployed into a new project which is actually generating return equivalent to 15%. So that's why the MIR has fallen to 21%. But it is still better than my cost of capital. So I should do it. My cost of capital is 15%, but both my IRR and MIRR and NPV is suggesting that I should actually go ahead with this project. Okay. Now tell me, is everyone following or anything which I should again explain? Ashit?
Sir, I am
Yeah,
having a
tell me.
doubt. NPV should decrease, but in my case, I don't know, I'm using the wrong formula or something. NPV is increasing
NPV is increasing means?
over the years.
अच्छा, यहाँ हाँ वो क्या है कि आपको यहाँ पर देखो, यहाँ पर आपको
वो ईयर चेंज
यहाँ
नहीं किए
यहाँ
होंगे
टू
अक्षता तुम।
I
सर
have
वहाँ पे
changed the year.
प्रेजेंट वैल्यू का फॉर्मूला लगेगा, एनपीवी
हाँ
का नहीं
प्रेजेंट वैल्यू.
लगेगा, इसलिए
नहीं
वो
नहीं, I've
increase
used the present
So I'm
value.
just going to do, okay, I'm just going to do again, okay.
ईयर चेंज नहीं किए होंगे, ईयर चेंज
अच्छा ये
कर।
देखो,
I think I'm getting the wrong answers in second, third, fourth, and fifth year. First year, the answers are
okay.
getting correct.
Yakshita, please look at this. You know, this what I've done is I am going to the formulas. Just follow me what I am doing, and if you have made a mistake, then I am going to use PV. Okay. Then the rate is put the rate as 15%. Don't copy the cell reference from the sheet 1. Okay. NPR is 1. यहाँ पर आप 15% लिखना, यहाँ फॉर्मूला मत कॉपी करो आप. ओके, यहाँ 1 और यहाँ पर माइनस दिस फिगर. ओके
सर माइनस क्यों कर रहे हैं हम?
Positive
यहाँ
लगा
पॉजिटिव होगा ना. दिस होता क्या है, अब 31 lakhs की जो वैल्यू है आज की डेट में 27.48 है. सपोज इफ आई डोंट पुट अ माइनस हियर, देन आई विल गेट माइनस 27. ओके, सो विच इज रॉन्ग. So we have to add minus here, okay? इसका मतलब ये होता है कि आपने अगर 27 लाख रुपीस आज लगाए, after 1 year at 15% rate of money, how much you are going to get? You know, other way of looking this formula is.
आपकी आवाज ब्रेक, सर आवाज ब्रेक
अच्छा,
हो गई.
okay, I'm just going. So this formula can be looked that suppose today you invest 27 lakh 48,000, and if you get 15% return, how much money you're going to get after 1 year? Okay, so that is 31 lakh 60,000. Or if you're getting 31 lakh 60,000 after 1 year, what is the present value today if you discount at 15%? Is that okay?
Yes,
देखो फर्स्ट ईयर में आप अगर सपोज आप इसको इन्वेस्टमेंट देख रहे हो, सपोज यू गिव मी 27 lakh 48,000. Okay, you give me this money, so this money is going from your pocket, so that's why minus 15. But you're going to get 31 lakh rupees after 1 year. So this is the initial investment you're going to make, and this is the return what you're going to get. So that's why we add minus figure.
Sir, very difficult, like your voice is not clear.
Okay, I am explaining, you know, why I put a minus sign here. Okay, why I put a minus sign here is like this. Suppose, what was your name? You're saying that you're not able to hear my voice.
Sir, I got the concept, but yeah, it's a very frequently it's a disturbing.
Okay.
I mean,
Achha,
it's
you
a
have got the
breaking.
concept. So now,
Yeah,
okay,
I got
now
it.
I'm going to copy paste here. Okay, like this. Fine. Fine. So here I'm going to do 2. Fine. Here I'm going to do 3. Here I'm going to do Yakshita.
Sir, got it. There was some issue in copying of formula. It was not taking the reference. Got it, sir.
Good. So now we can just, you know, calculate like this. So here NPV is nothing but so you can calculate that. Okay, fine. Fine. So this is 128, and you get this figure 128 plus this. So you get 28 positive. Is that okay, everyone?
Sir, I have a doubt, Shekhar this side. So, sir, question में दिया था net salvage value हमको 30 millions. So that's why we put this value here. But sir, if I check this depreciation value, मेरे 5 साल के बाद मेरी जो net value मेरे पे बचती है 80 millions मेरा fixed cost था.
Yeah. So and you know you are just going to calculate all this, add all this. Okay.
That is coming 35 million.
Okay, so you spent $80 here. Okay, you are saying this कि आपने 80 खर्चा था और आपको इतना मिला है ना? ये कह रहे हो ना?
Yes, sir.
और
Yes,
आपको
sir.
मिल रहा है अभी 30, फाइन. तो
Yes, sir.
अब आपको जब 30 मिल रहा है यहाँ पर, this is basically your cost of the machine was 80 and you depreciated 44. So this was the book value of your machine, but you
Yes.
got only 30, isn't it? तो आपको तो 30 ही
Yes,
मिल
sir.
रहा है और आपने 30 ही लिया है यहाँ पर. सो कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है. अगर ये
Market
50 मिल रहा होता आपको यहाँ पर, अगर ये 50 मिल रहा होता तो आपका प्रॉफिट भी तो इसमें आ गया ना, इसमें लॉस भी आ गया आपका, तो आपने लॉस को फैक्टर इन कर लिया यहाँ पर. देखो आपकी बुक वैल्यू 35 थी, आपको मिला सिर्फ 30, तो आपने डाल दिया यहाँ 30. सो देयर इज नो इनकंसिस्टेंसी हियर बेसिकली. देखो मशीन यू परचेज फॉर 80 million, you depreciated 44.5, your book value was 35, but you got only 30. Whatever you have got it, you have taken that. How much cash you are getting, you are only deployed, you are putting that only. Fine. You are not worried about what was my book value. You should not be worried about that. Whether it was more or less, you should not get worried about it, because you are just worried about how much cash you are going to generate from the project. Just focus
Understood, sir.
on
Understood,
cash what
sir.
you are going to get, nothing else. Okay, so this is a irrelevant criteria of going into and finding out this thing. So ये criteria hold नहीं करता, तो आपको सिर्फ कैश ही दिखाना है यहाँ पर, कितना मुझे कैश मिल रहा, बस. Cash is going to factor the negative as well as positive, everything into its fold.
Sir, this is Vinay.
Yeah.
Just one more
Yeah.
question. If at the end of 5 years, if I have some receivables which are not yet collected, which are probably sold to somebody, but
now
the
has
payment
not come.
terms were
So then,
let's say 180 days or
तो-
something. How will we account
तो
for that?
अगर सपोज यहाँ पर आपको 18 आया, तो यहाँ आपको 2 और दिखाना पड़ेगा, आपको 6th ईयर भी दिखाना पड़ेगा और उसकी प्रेजेंट वैल्यू निकालनी पड़ेगी. सपोज इफ यू हैव सम रिसीवेबल्स, because we were assuming it is 20, okay, fine. Suppose I am saying that you have not got all this 20 lakh rupees and there are some receivables, say how much amount, Vinay? Just tell me what is the amount of.
Let's say anything
5
5 lakhs.
So we say that you have got 15 lakhs here and 5 lakhs here. Is it okay? ऐसे हो रहा है ना?
Okay.
ये 5 लाख आपको छठे साल में, तो फिर आपको 5वें साल में यहां पर इसकी भी प्रेजेंट वैल्यू निकालनी पड़ेगी. ओके, fine. So you go and calculate the present value of this. Rate is 15%. Okay, and NPR is 6, and future value is this amount, 5 lakhs. Okay, and put it a minus sign here. तो आपका ये 2 लाख 5 लाख जो मिलेगा आपको छठे साल में, उसकी वैल्यू आज जो है 2,16,000 के बराबर है. सो आप
Sir,
but
just
we will
one question.
consider that each and every money will be recovered.
We are here. It's a simple, and considering that everything has been recovered in the 5th year itself. Okay, so Vinay just wanted to make it some complication, so I'm not going into that complication, but we can always do that. Okay, so as we do some more questions, अभी हम और भी काफी सारे क्वेश्चन करेंगे जिसमें हर चीज तरह के आपके पास जो आपके दिमाग में आ रहे हैं वो सब कवर हो जाएंगे. Okay, so we will be doing some 10 questions, okay, which will cover each and every aspect. Okay, so this is the simplest one. Okay, fine. This is just to give you a feel. Is that okay?
Right, sir.
Okay.
Perfect.
Now,
सर जब मैंने फिफ्थ ईयर में सैल्वेज वैल्यू कंसिडर कर ही ली, तो उसका मतलब यही है कि मैं बिजनेस क्लोज कर रहा हूँ. तो फिर उसमें फिर 6th ईयर में जाने का कोई लॉजिक नहीं है ना, क्योंकि मेरे को 5th ईयर में ही बिजनेस जब क्लोज करना, तो मेरे को अपना नेट वर्किंग कैपिटल जो 20 है मैं उसी में ही डाल के मैं देखूंगा कि मेरे को एट द एंड कितना
बट
बच रहा है.
ऐसा था ना, विनय ने ये बोला है कि भाई आपका कुछ पैसा जो है छठे साल में मिला है. ओके, तो आई एम गोइंग टू डिस्काउंट दिस 5 lakhs which I am getting in the 6th year. So I will be putting 15 lakhs here. Okay, fine. आपने मशीन तो बेच दी, बट आपके कस्टमर ने आपको पूरा पैसा दिया नहीं, तो you are going to put a 5th year slot and calculate the present value of the 5th year. Okay, so that it should be done like that. Okay, fine.
ओके
Yeah.
अंडरस्टूड।
सर आपने जो एक्सप्लेनेशन दिया था ना व्हाई MIRR इज लेस देन
हाँ
IRR, वो एक बार फिर से
हाँ
रिपीट कर
देखो,
दीजिए।
IRR में हम एज्यूम ये करते हैं कि भाई ये जो कैश जनरेट हो रहा है, ऑल दिस कैश विच वी आर जनरेटिंग, दिस इज गेटिंग रीडिप्लॉयड। अब ये कैश जनरेट हो गया, ये प्रोजेक्ट से आपको कैश मिल गया, ओके। अब ये कैश तो
जी
आपके पास फ्री में पड़ा हुआ है, आपके बैंक अकाउंट में पड़ा हुआ है। अब इस प्रोजेक्ट में तो ये कैश लगना नहीं है, आपको कोई नए प्रोजेक्ट में लगाना होगा। तो हम ये एज्यूम करते हैं कि जो नए प्रोजेक्ट में ये कैश लगेगा, वो आपको जो आपकी कॉस्ट ऑफ कैपिटल 15% है, आपने कोई ऐसा प्रोजेक्ट लगाया जिसमें कि आपको 15% रिटर्न मिलेगी, बिकॉज यू आर नॉट गोइंग टू पुट मनी बिलो 15%, बिकॉज द कॉस्ट ऑफ कैपिटल इज 15। सो एज्यूमिंग दैट वी कैलकुलेट द MIR। तो अब MIR का फॉर्मूला हम दोबारा देखते हैं, ओके, एक सेकेंड। ये हम फॉर्मूला में गए और यहां पर हमने MIR पकड़ा, ओके। सो आई एम गोइंग टू पुट ऑल दिस हेयर। द फॉर्मूला ऑफ IRR MIR is same up to this, but I am saying that all these cash flows which you are going to generate every year, ये 31 lakhs, 31 lakhs, 30 lakhs, ये सारा जो कैश जनरेट हो रहा है, ये आप जो है, ये आप 15% के हिसाब से आप रीडिप्लॉय कर दोगे, तो फिर आपकी रिटर्न क्या होती है? 20%। और यहां ये एज्यूम कर रहा था कि आपका ही जो कैश जनरेट हो रहा है, वो आपका रीडिप्लॉय हो रहा है इसी रेट के ऊपर, 24% के ऊपर, ओके। ये मैंने लास्ट टाइम, यू वर देयर लास्ट टाइम व्हेन आई टॉक्ड अबाउट MIR and IRR, so I'll cover it again when we have a physical class. I'm going to cover if you have not followed.
Yes,
Okay,
sir.
fine.
Yes, sir. Done. So now clear,
Not
sir.
clear.
Clear.
Okay.
सर जस्ट वो रिकवरी ऑफ वर्किंग कैपिटल को 20 कर दीजिए, सो दैट एवरीवनस
हाँ
आंसर
हाँ
इज सेम। अभी
हाँ
15 हो
15
गया था वो
ओके,
मेरे क्वेश्चन के
ठीक
लिए।
है, या नाउ इट इज ओके, इज दैट ओके,
राइट, थैंक यू।
फाइन। So now just open your this question which you are going to do, okay, with yourself. The question,
सर ये MIR में जो आप कह रहे हैं कि कैपिटल, IIR में जब कैपिटल हम उसी प्रोजेक्ट में इन्वेस्ट कर रहे हैं, तो उसी प्रोजेक्ट में हम कहाँ इन्वेस्ट कर रहे हैं? कैपिटल के अंदर या कहीं भी हम इन्वेस्ट
नहीं,
करें?
वो
या
ये ऐसा है, ये फॉर्मूला ये कहता है कि ये जो रिटर्न है 25%, वो ऑन द बेसिस है कि ऑल दिस कैश फ्लो इज बीन री इन्वेस्टेड इनटू द सेम प्रोजेक्ट।
सर रिपीट कर दीजिए, ब्रेक
हाँ,
हो गई
मैं ये
बात।
कह रहा हूं कि जो IRR का फॉर्मूला है, उसकी एजम्पशन ये होती है कि जो भी कैश जनरेट हो रहा है आपका हर साल, दैट इज गेटिंग रीडिप्लॉयड इनटू द सेम प्रोजेक्ट। बट ऐसा सेम प्रोजेक्ट में तो ये पैसा लगेगा नहीं, क्योंकि ये प्रोजेक्ट तो आपको उसने दे दिया है, 31 लाख सारा दे दिया, इसके बाद तो इस प्रोजेक्ट में और कैश की जरूरत ही नहीं है। आपने तो ऑलरेडी ये पैसा लगा दिया था पहले ईयर में ही, अब नया पैसा तो इसमें लग नहीं रहा कोई भी। So this assumption will be wrong, that the money which is going to be redeployed into the existing project, then only you're getting a return of 25%. So we are just correcting that folly. हमने ये जो इसके अंदर जो एक wrong fallacy है इस फॉर्मूला में, और wrong concept है, वो हम उसको दूर कर रहे हैं। हम ये कह रहे हैं कि जो प्रोजेक्ट है उसका जो कैश फ्लो जनरेट हुआ है, वो नए प्रोजेक्ट में लग रहा है, जिसकी रिटर्न जो है 15% हमें मिल रही है कंपनी को। तो MIR कितनी होगी? तो MIR इज 21%।
सर अगर हम MIR में इसमें रीइन्वेस्टमेंट रेट 20% कर देते हैं तो क्या डिफरेंस
हाँ,
आएगा?
वो तो हाँ,
जो
अगर मैं सपोज
reinvestment
20 कर देता हूं, सपोज फॉर एग्जाम्पल, ओके, तो देखो 23 हो गया। तो इसका मतलब कि जो नया प्रोजेक्ट है जो कि 20% रिटर्न दे रहा है, मैं उसको शामिल कर रहा हूं इसके अंदर, ओके। सो वो गलत होगा, क्योंकि इस प्रोजेक्ट की जो हमने देखनी है कि ये प्रोजेक्ट अच्छा है या बुरा है, तो हमें नए प्रोजेक्ट का हाई रेट ऑफ रिटर्न लेना जरूरी नहीं है। वी शुड मेक द कॉस्ट, हमें सिर्फ कॉस्ट देनी है। तो हम कहेंगे कि भाई ये प्रोजेक्ट हमें 21% रिटर्न दे रहा है, assuming that whatever cash the company is generating every year, that is getting redeployed into a new project which is just recovering the cost. अगर हो सकता है कि ये 10% दे रहा हो, ओके, अगर सपोज आपने ना ये पैसा जो है बैंक में रख दिया, किसी सेविंग अकाउंट में रख दिया, और आपको 7% मिल रहा है फिक्स डिपॉजिट में, तो अब तो 18% आ गया। तो ये तो गलत हो जाएगा ना, क्योंकि आपने पैसा यूज ही नहीं करा और आप इस प्रोजेक्ट पे इसको ब्लेम दे रहे हो कि भाई इसमें 18% रिटर्न दे दी।
सर वॉइस नहीं आ रही।
अच्छा, ओके, नाउ इफ आई से दैट योर मनी इज गेटिंग रीडिप्लॉयड because the money is, you're not using this money. Okay, you have put the entire money in a fixed deposit, okay, which is giving you 7%. Then you are telling that this project is giving only 18% return, which is not good. Okay, because you are not using this money. This is the problem of the company and not because of the project. So you should take only 15%. Okay, have you got it? अगर हम कम लेंगे तो इसका मतलब कि हम इस प्रोजेक्ट को हम बता रहे हैं प्रोजेक्ट अच्छा नहीं है, तो वो गलत हो जाएगा. अगर ज्यादा लेंगे तो हम नए प्रोजेक्ट की जो रिटर्न आ रही है वो इस प्रोजेक्ट में डाल रहे हैं. और अगर हम कॉस्ट ऑफ द प्रोजेक्ट, कॉस्ट ऑफ कैपिटल ले लेंगे तो देन वी आर फेयर टू दिस प्रोजेक्ट कि भाई नया प्रोजेक्ट जो है वो 15% रिटर्न तो देगा ही देगा, बिकॉज दैट इज द कॉस्ट ऑफ कैपिटल. सो अब बताओ कि ये प्रोजेक्ट ठीक है या गलत है. सो द मोस्ट appropriate rate would be the cost of capital and not a lower or not a higher. Is that okay?
सर एक स्मॉल क्वेश्चन और, तो फिर ये तो ठीक है, तो IRR ने 25% क्यों दिया? फिर
IRR ने 25 इसलिए दिया कि जो आपको ये जो कैश आप जनरेट कर रहे हो हर साल, पहले साल आपको कैश, पहले साल कैश कितना मिला? 31 लाख. तो आपके पास जो 31 आ गया ये आपके बैंक अकाउंट में चला गया, एज्यूम. ओके, आपके बैंक में आ गया. अब ये इस प्रोजेक्ट को तो और कोई पैसे की जरूरत नहीं है, ये आपके बैंक में पड़ा हुआ है. अगर सपोज आप इसको नहीं लगाते हो किसी भी प्रोजेक्ट में, आपके बैंक में पड़ा रहता है और आप इसकी FD ले लेते हो 7% पे, फॉर एग्जांपल. ओके, आप सेम चीज करते हो हर साल, आपको पैसा मिल रहा है, आपके पास कोई और नया प्रोजेक्ट नहीं है. तो इस केस में फिर क्या करोगे आप? यहां पर आप इसको 7% कर दोगे कि आपने जो पैसा मिला उसको 7. अब इस प्रोजेक्ट की जो MIR है वो 18% आ जाएगी सिर्फ, क्योंकि आपका पैसा मिला और आपने FD में लगा दिया. ये पैसा मिला और FD में चला गया, ये पैसा मिला और FD में चला गया, क्योंकि आपके पास कोई नया प्रोजेक्ट है ही नहीं. सपोज हम ये एज्यूम करते हैं तो हमारी इस प्रोजेक्ट की जो रिटर्न होती है वो 18% आती है, लेकिन फिर भी हमारी कॉस्ट ऑफ कैपिटल 15% है. तो कंपनी भी रहेगी फिर भी करना चाहिए, अच्छा है, इजंट इट? और अगर मैं कहता हूं कि जो ये पैसे मिल रहे हैं इसको आप लगा देते हो, इसको आप नए प्रोजेक्ट में लगा देते हो. ओके, आप देखो, आप कंपनी हो, आप नए प्रोजेक्ट में तभी लगाओगे जब आपको कॉस्ट ऑफ कैपिटल मिल रही है, तो आपको 15% रिटर्न मिल रही है, आप उसी प्रोजेक्ट को चूज करोगे. अदरवाइज तो आप पैसे को यूज ही नहीं करोगे. आप कहोगे भाई फिर तो मैं इसको डिविडेंड के रूप में शेयर होल्डर्स को बांट दूं. जब कंपनी के पास पैसा होता है और कंपनी के पास कोई प्रोजेक्ट नहीं होता है, कोई फर्दर एक्सपेंशन प्रोजेक्ट नहीं है, सो वट एवर कंपनी कैश द कंपनी इज जनरेटिंग, दैट इज डिस्ट्रीब्यूटेड एज वे ऑफ डिविडेंड्स टू द शेयर होल्डर्स. इज दैट ओके?
Yes, sir. And can you explain once this net working capital, how it works in the investment purpose in the business? So net working capital, the 20.
हाँ, देखो ऐसा होता है, जब आप बिजनेस स्टार्ट करते हो तो आपको क्या लेना पड़ता है? रॉ मटेरियल. ओके, ओके, तो आपको पैसे रॉ मटेरियल में रखने पड़ेंगे कुछ. सपोज आपने 1 महीने की इन्वेंट्री रख दी, 1 महीने की इन्वेंट्री रखी हुई है एवरी टाइम. ओके, सिमिलरली यू हैव फिनिश्ड गुड्स इन्वेंट्री. Okay, so you have your receivables. So when you are going to sell your goods, so you are not going to get money upfront. आपका पैसा जो है ये ब्लॉक होता है रॉ मटेरियल में, फिनिश गुड्स में, रिसीवेबल्स में. ओके, सो दिस इज ऑल इज कॉल्ड करंट एसेट्स. ओके, फॉर एग्जांपल रॉ मटेरियल इज से 5, ओके, इन्वेंट्री इज 10 and receivable is 5. Okay, so your entire amount is 20. So let's make the raw material as 8. Okay, 8. तो ये 23 आ गया. अब आपके जो है पेबल्स, यानी कि आपने जब ये खरीदा था सामान रॉ मटेरियल, ओके, उसके पैसे आपको 3 देने हैं, पेबल्स हैं. तो आपका जो नेट वर्किंग कैपिटल है विच इज नथिंग बट दिस माइनस दिस, विच इज अपीयरिंग हियर. ये नेट वर्किंग कैपिटल. आप कहते हो कि आपने शुरू में कुछ रॉ मटेरियल खरीदा, आपने जब बिजनेस शुरू करा होगा तो आप रॉ मटेरियल खरीदोगे ना अपने प्रोडक्ट बनाने के लिए, और जब आप प्रोडक्ट बना लोगे कुछ सामान आपका इन्वेंट्री में पड़ा रहेगा, डिस्पैच जब बनेगा सारा का सारा मनी तो डिस्पैच नहीं हो जाएगा, और फिर जब आप डिस्पैच करोगे तो आप जो है आपके कस्टमर्स आपको पैसा नहीं देंगे इमीडिएटली, वो कुछ 1 महीने का या 2 महीने का क्रेडिट लेंगे, तो आपका रिसीवेबल्स भी लेंगे. सो दिस इज योर करंट एसेट्स, योर मनी विल गेट ब्लॉक्ड इनटू करंट एसेट्स. बट जब आप रॉ मटेरियल खरीदते हो तो आप अपने सप्लायर्स को इमीडिएटली पैसा नहीं देते हो, यू ऑल्सो डिले देम. तो आप भी उनसे 1 महीने का क्रेडिट लेते हो. जैसे आपने जब माल बेचा तो आप भी तो कस्टमर आपके 1 महीना लगा दे रहे हैं आपको पैसा देने में. तो सिमिलरली रॉ मटेरियल आप खरीद रहे हो तो आपके भी पेबल्स जनरेट हो रहे हैं, तो आपकी कुछ वर्किंग कैपिटल जो है वो फाइनेंस हो रही है इससे, आपके पेबल से. सो आपका नेट वर्किंग कैपिटल जो है 20 है. हम अज्यूम कर रहे हैं कि ये 20 जो है कांस्टेंट है, ये चेंज नहीं हो रही यहाँ पर. जब आपका बिजनेस बढ़ेगा तो आपकी वर्किंग कैपिटल भी बढ़ती है, बट वी आर जस्ट एज्यूमिंग अ वेरी स्मॉल एग्जांपल वेयर वी आर नॉट डूइंग एनी छेड़खानी विद नेट वर्किंग कैपिटल. ओके फाइन, बट हम आगे जो क्वेश्चन करेंगे उसमें करें, उसमें
Okay,
हम
sir.
उसको थोड़ा कॉम्प्लिकेशन आएंगे. ओके, इज दैट ओके?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Thank you.
so let's now do a question. Okay,
Sir, break.
Can we take
हाँ
a break?
चलो ब्रेक ले लेते हैं. अभी ब्रेक, अभी टाइम है 10:22, so 15 minutes break.
Okay,
So
sir.
10:40 will be okay.
Okay.
10:40. Okay.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
हाँ जी, just hold on. IFT. What are you saying? Are you able to hear me? Okay, we'll start at 10:40. What 10:45 we said? 40. ठीक है, चलो. It's another 3 minutes to go. Any other questions if you have, you can ask me. Have you followed? This was the most simplest one we have done. As we progress, yeah, we will be doing more complicated ones. Yeah, yeah. This number is basically addition of all these numbers. This plus this plus this plus this. So that means you are going to get, you are going to get all this money if you just add without discounting. Without discounting, if I add, so I get this number. Okay, so I get 203 million. Okay, the present value is 128, which means if I calculate the present value of all this, this comes to 128. Okay, so I can again calculate like this. I can just go to the formulas. I can go to the net present value here. Instead of doing this, I can just go to the formulas and go to net present value. Okay, and put the rate as 15%. Okay, and choose all these values, which is this, and put a enter. So I get 128, isn't it? So same thing here. So this is, I can even calculate like this, by taking a NPV value, okay? Instead of calculating present value for each year, I can do it for the all, okay? इन सबको चुन के इसकी प्रेजेंट वैल्यू ली मैंने. कैसे करा मैंने? I just went to the formulas and I chose net present value instead of present value and chose the cost of capital as 15%, okay? And then highlighting all the values here, okay? And pressing OK. So I'll get 128, which is nothing but this 128. So all this money which you are getting in 5 years, in different, this is after 1 year, this is after 2 years, this is after 3 years, this is after 4 years, this is after 5 years. So I just simply can't add them because the value will lose its value because of the inflation and the cost of capital. So I have calculated the cost of capital, and on the basis of cost of capital, I've discounted. So I get a net present value of 128. Is that okay? Any other questions, please? Okay, now, I'll ask you to, open this file, okay? I'm going to just, before we open, we can just do this exercise, okay? Fine, this exercise I put class exercise, okay? Fine. Are you there, Akshay? Akshay? अच्छा ठीक है. हाँ, इधर मैं क्या कर रहा हूं? I am saying, I'm just adding one more thing. The cost of capital, which is not given in the questions, I'm just putting it here. Okay, another this thing is say 22%. Okay, I'm just putting it. Okay, fine. I'm just adding this. Okay. हाँ जी. टैक्स रेट भी नहीं दिया हुआ तो ओके, तो टैक्स रेट भी हम देख लेते हैं. एक सेकंड. टैक्स रेट ओके, सो दिया हुआ कहीं? ओके, अच्छा ठीक है. सो वी विल जस्ट गो टू द एक्सेल शीट. ओके, we'll just we'll go to the we'll assume a tax rate. Okay, fine. So हम लोग क्या करते हैं? हम लोग ये क्लास एक्सरसाइज खोलते हैं. Okay, and this is a question on capital budgeting class exercise. Okay, so just open. Fine. No, this is not one. This is not the one. This is class budgeting question internet. Okay, this is not the class exercise which you are doing. क्लास एक्सरसाइज मैंने सेपरेटली भेजा है आपको. क्लास एक्सरसाइज आपको भेजा है ना मैंने? हाँ ये. हाँ तो आप कैश फ्लो फॉर द क्लास एक्सरसाइज, हाँ ये है, मेल करें तो उसको खोल लो आप एक बार. ओके फाइन. एंड सो टैक्स रेट यू कैन एज्यूम एज टैक्स रेट you can assume at say 30%. Okay, fine. 22% cost of capital 22%. Okay, fine. Is that okay? So just make that changes. You have to make cost of capital 22% and tax rate as 25%, which is not there here in the question. Okay, fine. Then you go to the answer. Okay, and you have to fill up all this. Okay, what I'm going to do, I'll ask Akshay to open this file. Okay, now I'm just I'm withdrawing And now I'll ask others basically, and Akshay will be doing this exercise for all of you, and you will be providing all the inputs. Okay, so I'm just stopping sharing it. अब Akshay आ गए आप? So just delete everything first. Okay, so don't put the numbers. Okay, fine. आप पहले सब delete कर दो. Okay, delete everything. Okay. Okay. So now go to answer. So I'll ask, don't put any number, okay? So I'm going to, ask somebody to give this number, okay? So Anurag is there? Anurag Singh Bisht, is he there? So tell me, what will be the fixed cost? How, first of all, आप class exercise में वापस जाइए यहाँ पर, class exercise में जाइए. Go to class exercise and put the number somewhere, okay? यहाँ जैसे मैंने right hand side में दिया था, आप डाल दो. Fixed. So put 150 इसी जगह पे आगे लिख दो 150. Okay, and working capital. थोड़ा बड़ा कर दो इसको. Working capital, how much? Put the 50. 50. Okay. Go to answer. Go to answer now. And Anurag, tell me what will be the figure in the fixed cost, fixed assets? This will come in which year? First 0 year. So just put that number, Akshay. यहाँ से लिंक कर दो उसको. हाँ आ गया. And what will be the working capital, Arun? Is Arun there? 50. 50. Okay. 50. Okay. Put 50. And go back to the question, class exercise. Put your revenue here. अब sales डालो यहाँ पर. Revenue कितनी है? What is the revenue? 250. Okay. Put 250. And what will be the cost? 100. Okay. Fine. Good. Go to answer. Yakshita, tell me what will be the revenue, where it will appear? Okay. How much should be there? Just, link it. 200. 250. Okay. So go to class exercise per year. So if you do 250 per year, then the second year also it will be 250. Okay. Just put this thing $sign and copy paste. Okay. So it is 7 years, isn't it? Okay. What will be the operating cost, Yakshita? So you just link with this thing and make a $sign because it is remaining the same. Okay. And just what we'll do? We'll do copy paste. Okay. Fine. And the depreciation, who is going to calculate depreciation? Gaurav Juneja, are you there? Or Kaliraj? Anyone? Put depreciation rate. Yeah. Okay. Go to. यहाँ छोड़ दो, यहाँ मत करो. Go to answer. And put depreciation, put a plus sign first year में. ना यहाँ ठीक है depreciation डाल दिया, ठीक है. Okay. Go to the first column. So what we'll do, we'll link it with 150 into okay. And then next year okay, very good. So do that. So Kaliraj, you are going to just calculate the depreciation for everything. Okay, enter. And then what we are going to do, multiply it by 25%. Okay. Okay. Next. Okay. Okay. Yeah, fine. Next. Okay. Okay, Kaliraj next. Open bracket. Okay, very good. हाँ वो कुछ गड़बड़ हुई है. हाँ वो भी कर सकते हैं. या हाँ या Okay, so who is saying that? हाँ विनय जस्ट इसको पहले निकाल लो एक बार. Just do it and then we'll do how the Vinay is saying. Let's see this thing. हाँ हाँ फिर आप दिखाना. Okay. Okay, so this is done. Okay. So now let just save this, Akshay. Akshay, save this, and let Vinay now come. Vinay, share your screen now. We'll do now. Vinay is going to guide us what is the shortcut method, and thereon Vinay is going to continue. हाँ हाँ अब आप हाँ बाकी सब निकाल दो आप जो कैलकुलेशन है. I mean डेप्रिसिएशन को छोड़ के बाकी सब दोबारा से बताना. Okay. 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 Acha. So you are getting the same. Oh. So what you have done is that let's see. I mean, go to the formulas. ऊपर formulas में यहाँ पर जाओ. हाँ. ठीक है. Okay. 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 Got it. So yeah. Okay. Wonderful. So that is a shortcut method. Okay. Fine. Error also. Good. Very good. Very wonderful. If you're getting the same, the output, then it is fine. Okay. So now, Akshay, can you just come back with your screen? Okay, Akshay. Yeah. Now tell me how the profit before tax will be calculated. Anyone? I mean, anyone who is present here can tell. Okay. So do that, Akshay. Okay. Then you just to copy and paste everything. Okay. Fine. So yeah. Tax. Just put the tax rate from this thing sheet. 30%. Okay. And then calculate the tax, which will be this multiplied by 30%. Put a dollar sign with the tax rate. Okay. And then, you have to increase the size of the, yeah, okay, done. Then profit after tax, anyone? Okay. Okay. I'm asking you all because, just to see that everybody is understanding, and though it's an easy one, that net value, salvage value of the asset, how much was the net value? 48. So write somewhere 48. Yeah, 48 you can write. Okay, you can just punch the number. Then the current assets, how much you are going to get? 50. Assuming that there is no loss on account of working capital, there is no bad debt, or there is no inventory which has become bad. So just put everything you have recovered. Okay. Fine. And then you have to just, how do we calculate this thing, operating cash flows? Go to this column number 15, row number 15, sorry, and go to this, yeah, plus depreciation. So we are saying that whatever profit you have earned, we are just going to add depreciation. So that will presume the company has generated that much of cash flow, okay, every year. Okay. Fine. So here you have included the salvage value, isn't it? यहाँ salvage value भी दिखा दिया आपने नहीं? अच्छा, sorry, depreciation दिया. And what is the terminal cash flow? What is the terminal cash flow? Okay, fine. ठीक है. So now you just calculate the net operating cash flows. Okay, so now we are supposed to require to calculate IRR and ठीक है. Okay, make it 200 as negative. I mean red color, उसको red color में दिखाओ. Don't calculate IRR at the moment. Okay, don't calculate IRR. अच्छा, somebody, I'll ask someone else. Who is going to do that? हाँ हाँ. Okay, go to formulas. Okay. अच्छा, IRR करा, and you are going to select everything. Okay. Okay, enter. 55% is the IRR, which is very high. And now if I have to calculate the first of all NPV निकाल दो पहले तो. NPV निकालो. Cost of capital is 15%. What is the NPV? So how do we are going to calculate the NPV? We are going to select, entire money. No, we can even do the shortcut. इसको छोड़ो, अभी इसको आप NPV करो. NPV is equal to NPV. NPV bracket close and select everything. Okay, except the 201, except the initial one. Initial छोड़ दो. Right from 116. Okay, 100. Okay, fine. So NPV is how much? 168. Is it right? See, what you have to do is, Akshay, just दोबारा से calculate करो MIR. एक बार नीचे जाओ, दोबारा नीचे जाओ. हाँ, यहाँ रखो आप. यहाँ नीचे जाओ, NPV पे जाओ. I just want to check whether NPV is correct. Okay. Okay. Go to NPV. हाँ, इसको हटा दो. Just rub this off. Go to formulas. ऊपर formulas में जाओ. Go to formulas. Select NPV. NPV. And select everything from 116.25. Select from here. Okay. ये करो. You don't have to select 200. Okay. हाँ, ये इसको पूरा करना. यहां से लेके एंड तक. नीचे वाला का भी दे लो ना. 205 भी लेना है ना. Okay, I'll just check. I think I'll switch off the camera. Okay, my camera is off. Okay, my camera is off. So okay, I think the problem is coming from my end. So Akshay, you have to take the entire this thing, operating cash flow, net operating cash flow लेना है आपने for calculating NPV. Do it, Akshay. 148. अच्छा, ठीक है. So here you have taken B15, which is B15. हाँ हाँ हाँ, बिल्कुल बिल्कुल। हाँ, जीरो नहीं आता। हाँ, एब्सोल्युटली ओके, दिस ओके, दिस इज ओके, हाँ दिस इज ओके। कैलकुलेट प्लस दिस 200, ओके। हाँ, इज इट ओके? ओके, कैलकुलेट MIRR। मयंक, MIRR कैसे निकालेंगे? गो टू फॉर्मूलाज, पिकअप MIRR। अच्छा, ओके, सो हेयर वी आर गोइंग टू, सो फॉर्मूला आपका पूरा क्यों नहीं आता जब आप देते हो यहां पर? हाँ, तो पूरी विंडो ओपन करके दिखाओ ना। तो अब आप अब फिल करो MIR तो सिर्फ आपका वो फॉर्मूला आ गया, मतलब जो इट इज नॉट शोइंग द एंटायर विंडो। नहीं, वो आई थिंक हिज एक्सेल इज नॉट दिस थिंग। सो विनय, कैन यू शो योर दिस थिंग MIR कैलकुलेशन? लेट, ओके ओके, सो कैलकुलेट MIR, या फाइन। हाँ, अब ये आ रहा है आपका, हाँ ठीक है, इसमें सारा लेंगे हम, ओके। एंड री इन्वेस्टमेंट रेट विल बी हाउ मच? 22%, isn't it? 22%, okay. So you're getting 38%, is that okay? So do you know how, I mean, is it okay? Any questions here? Have you all? Okay, so what Vinay was saying, it was a shortcut method and we are getting the same depreciation. So, so so okay, so I think 6.6. Okay, take 22%, yeah. Yeah, 22%. So now you're getting 35% MIR. Okay, okay, ठीक है. So is that okay? Everybody's getting this. MIR is 35%, IRR is 55%, and NPV is how much? NPV कितना आ रहा है? Positive? Just come. Okay, just okay, just show that. Just show. It is 6.67 depreciation the last year. Okay, just show. Where is the problem? Yeah, just show. I mean, who's getting different? I mean, not matching with Vinay. Just show that. Sujan, is it your? Oh, okay. 25%. Okay. Okay, fine. Fine. This is okay. No, no, just go. Acha. So Vinay, I mean, is everybody getting the same answers? Next, Nico. Just go every year, okay? Just so अब सही हो गया. अब just complete this, Sujan. Just see that everything matches. It should come to 6 in the final year. हाँ यहाँ पर भी देखो. Just show the formulas. Yeah, you are missing that. Yeah, D वाला missing है. D missing है यहाँ पर. D8 missing है. Okay, which is shown by Vinay or this thing? ठीक है. ठीक है. It's done. Of course, the formula which I mentioned is a little bit complicated, but Vinay has given a better formula. Okay, so you can use that. Is that clear? Sure, sure. उसको एक बार Vinay, you can just share your calculations on the WhatsApp. Put your answer on the WhatsApp. Okay, so that people can download it. Okay, fine. Just share your these things. Okay, fine. So now we are going to come back to the new question. Okay, so just we are going to do one more. Okay, fine. So just now I am going to share my screen. Okay. So is my screen visible now? Okay. Okay, so there are a lot of questions which are there in the Excel sheet. So I would like that during the next 2 weeks, please try to go through the answers of each and every Excel sheet, so that next time we can do it much better. Okay. Akshay, can you just read this? Okay. So next slide I am going to do. Just hold on. Excellent. Just hold on. Okay. Okay. Fine. Next. Okay. Okay, just focus on the second one. Again, read this, Akshay. Okay, just hold on. Just hold on. Here it is written as 20% of sales. The amount is not given. Okay. So every year the working capital is going to change. Okay, based on the sales of that year. Okay, read further. So that means there is one customer or maybe some customers who are not going to pay the amount back to the company, and company is going to suffer a loss of 5 million. Okay. And this 5 million is basically allowed as an expense under the income tax. Okay. So this I mean this thing. Okay. Next. Okay. Now, raw material cost is given 30% of sales. Variable labor cost is 20% of sales. Fixed cost is 5 million. Overhead allocation. Now, overhead calculation we are going to ignore. Okay. Which is 10% of sales. This is just an overhead. Okay. I'll just take you to this. Some rules are there. And okay, just read this. So just read this, okay, and understand. So any overhead allocation has to be ignored because this is not an incremental cost. Okay, only incremental overhead cost should be, which is attributable to the project, should be only considered. Is that okay for all of you? Have you followed? Just go through, and if you have any questions, please ask me. Okay. So overhead cost जो है वो तो कंपनी ने ऑलरेडी इनकर करी हुई है. Suppose company has a head office and is paying salary for the people who are employed there. All these are overheads. Okay, so these are not incremental cost. Company would be anyway incurring these costs even if the company is not going ahead with a new project. So all these overhead costs should be ignored while calculating the while appraising a project. Only if there is an incremental overhead. Suppose you require an additional office or additional person in head office to oversee this project. So his salary can be attributed as overhead expense. Okay. Or if suppose company is hiring a new office for which it is paying some rent. So only that incremental overhead should be attributable to the project and nothing else. So already whatever cost the company is incurring, it is, allocating those costs. Now, head office costs are overhead costs. So companies tries to, allocate these costs to the projects. The company may be having so many projects. So all these overhead costs should be ignored because the company is going to incur that expense anyway, whether it is going to, go ahead with a new project or not. So that's the logic. Have you followed this? Akshay, have you followed? Okay. So now, okay, everyone has followed. So if nobody has a question, I'll assume that it's clear everyone. Okay. So let's go back to the question. Okay. Is this okay? Okay. Now, yeah. So that means, when the company does this new project, it will be losing 15 millions of contribution from the existing business what the company is doing. So we have to consider this cost. Okay. So we'll come to this later. Okay. 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 So this is the question. So let's go to the Excel sheet. Okay. So question case in. Okay. Open this Excel sheet. Have you all opened? So this is the question, which is the same question. What I have done is I have put some numbers here. Okay. The sales. Okay. Capital equipment, depreciation rate, salvage value, working capital, percentage of sales, cost, raw materials of sales, variable cost 20%, fixed cost, overhead allocation 20%. We're going to ignore this. Contribution loss in million 15, tax rate, estimated loss of bad debt. Is that okay, everyone? Just go through, and then we come to this. Okay, fine. So first, I'm going just look at this. Okay, we'll do this. I'll delete everything later on. So first, I'm going to put the capital equipment. Okay, so this is going to be like this, bringing from here. Fine, is that okay? And level of working capital will be coming from this. So working capital क्या है? This is basically, the sales, which are this, okay, or rather this into the sale, 20% of sales. So we are going to have, sorry, into percentage. Where is the working capital? This. ये देखो ऐसा है कि we are assuming that the working capital will be spent upfront. Okay, we would have started from here also, but we have started from the 0th year. Okay, and then move on to the 4th. In 5th year, the number will be. So if you look at this 100, इसका 20% यहाँ आ रहा है, 150 का 20% यहाँ आ रहा है, 200 का 20% यहाँ आ रहा है, 150 का 20% यहाँ आ रहा है, 100 का 20% यहाँ आ रहा है. Look at the note here. ये पढ़ो अक्षय. So we are here assuming that the working capital will be up. You know, you are going to buy your raw material upfront. Suppose assuming your finished goods, all you are going to make before the sales happen. Okay. So you have to consider working capital right at the beginning. Okay. Instead of putting in the year 1, 2, 3, 4. So we can start from 0th year. Of course, you can make even a figure like this. You can put it this 20 in here and 30 here and 40 here and 20 here and finally 20 here. You can even do that, but this is just an assumption. Okay, fine. Now, so what we have done is, we have done like this, question into 20%. Have you followed this? यहाँ पर कोई questions हैं आपके? Is it clear to all of you? Akshita? देखो फर्स्ट ईयर का जो वर्किंग कैपिटल है वो पहले 0th ईयर में लग गया, फर्स्ट ईयर का और सेकेंड ईयर का यहां लग गया. ओके, सो वी आर जस्ट पुटिंग एवरीथिंग इन एडवांस. ये फर्स्ट ईयर का है, ये सेकेंड ईयर का है, ये थर्ड ईयर का है, ये फोर्थ ईयर का है, ये फिफ्थ ईयर का है. लास्ट ईयर में आपका वर्किंग कैपिटल रिक्वायरमेंट जो है नहीं होगा क्योंकि आपने लास्ट ईयर रह गया, तो आपने वर्किंग कैपिटल को फ्रॉम द 0th ईयर टू 4th ईयर यू हैव कंसीडर्ड. ओके, because when you start a business, okay, you have to buy raw material, you have to buy, you make production, so some stock will be kept in finished goods, so your inventory will be spent upfront. Okay, so your working capital will be spent upfront rather than in the year itself. So आपका beginning of the year में इतना working capital होगा. Is that okay? हाँ, yeah, yeah. नहीं नहीं, सेकेंड ईयर का नहीं है, फर्स्ट ईयर का है. ये देखो यहां गए हम और फर्स्ट ईयर में गए और इसको हमने मल्टीप्लाई कर दिया इससे 10% से 20% से, ये आ गया. हाँ, ये ना, ये दिस इज एट द बिगिनिंग, एज्यूम दैट दिस इज एट द बिगिनिंग ऑफ द ईयर. This 20 lakhs at the beginning of the first year. So this 30 is at the beginning of the second year. This 40 is the beginning of the first year. 30 is the beginning of the second year. So it's like this. Okay. ये जो 0th year में है, this assume that this is at the beginning of the year. Okay. साल के शुरू में ही आपने ये सारा खर्चा लग गया आपका. Okay. So assume that. Is that okay? Okay. Now revenues. So revenues we are going to, again we are going to put this. Okay, revenues भी आ गई आपकी. Is that okay? ये revenues आ गई. Similarly, raw material cost, which is going to be this into 30%. Okay. Fine. So then we are going to have 30% every year. Okay. Then labor cost, which is going to be 20%. Okay. Which is, labor cost is how much? This into sales. So 20. So like this, your labor cost. Okay. Then operating maintenance cost is 5 million every year, which is given in the question here. 5 million. Okay. Fine. Then loss of contribution, because, the company is going to lose 15 lakh rupees of sale or contribution, because company is going to have this new. Okay, so this is like this. Okay, I'll just explain to that. Read this. Akshay? Okay, just everyone just focus on that. Akshay, can you read it again? Okay, read this. Example. Okay, so I'll just show you here again what is cannibalization. Okay, just read this product cannibalization. Okay, read this, the last one. So, you know, when you do a business, so your new product can cannibalize the old this thing. People will not buy, you know, your new product. They will buy the new product, you know, against the old product. So your old product sales will go down. Okay, fine. Like, you know, company, suppose, like for example, when Maruti 800 launched their Alto, so people shifted from Maruti 800 to Alto. So Alto sales gone up, but Maruti 800 sales had gone down. So this was called cannibalization, because both the cars were, you know, low end cars, and gradually, you know, Maruti 800 was phased out, and Alto was, I mean, kept by the Maruti. Okay, so this is called product cannibalization. Okay, so any revenue loss on account of cannibalization should be considered. Okay, so just read this. Okay, read this. Okay, so that means here what we are consider is, we are considering that the new product or new this thing will take away our you know, revenue of the old this thing. So that's why we are going to lose how much? 15 million. Okay, so that's why we have taken loss of contribution of 15 million here, because, you know, we will be losing some money from the existing, you know, sales, so which will eat away our profits to the extent of 15, you know, billion every year, 15 million every year. So that's why. Is that okay? Is there any question here? Is there any question here? Okay. So depreciation. So depreciation, again, I have, you know, calculated based on the rate of depreciation which is given here. Depreciation rate कहाँ दिया हुआ है? कितना है depreciation rate? Okay, 15%. Okay. So this 15% rate I have applied. Okay. Now coming to the bad debt loss. Now what had happened in the 5th year, there is a loss of 5 million. Okay. So it is written that there is going to be a 5 million of estimated loss of 5 million on account of bad debt. Okay. Fine. So that means we are assuming that loss we are going to count in the 5th year. So there will be a loss. Okay. Now we are going to calculate profit after tax. So this loss of 5 million will reduce the profit of the company, and company has to pay a lower tax. Is that okay? So this is basically, profit before taxes, your revenues minus all your costs. So this is coming here. Okay. So we can just see the formula here. So this is, your, similarly, the formulas we can see here. So everything, this even 5 million has been excluded. Is that okay? Okay. So this is the tax rate. Okay. Tax rate is 30%. So we have calculated the tax rate and then the profit after tax. Okay. Then the net salvage value is 20. Okay. Fine. Which is basically the salvage value is given in the question, which is 20. The machine which the company has purchased of 100 million can be sold at 20 million. Okay. Then we come to the recovery of net working capital. Now, recovery of net working capital, no, working capital is only 20 million in the final year. So, इसका 5 रुपए का लॉस हो गया. Okay. So net salvage value 15 बचा. So I'm just going to, here got it right. So this is basically 20 minus this 5. So company is going to recover only 15 back. Is that okay? So then we have the capital investment 100. Okay. And working capital is 20. Okay. So net operating cash flows, okay, which will be basically, let's go to formulas, which is basically depreciation plus the profit. Okay, in the final year, it will be formulas, which will be, the depreciation, the bad debt loss, okay, which we are adding back, okay, here. I'll explain you why, and profit or tax, okay. So here what we have done, we have even added this 5 into for calculating the operating cash flows. Okay, fine. So you may ask why we have added 5. Okay, so just stay for your explanation. I'll just give you the explanation later on. I'm just going to remove that. Okay, is that okay? Have you followed this? Only the point is why we have added this 5 here. Okay, okay. So it will get explained in my next line. Now we come to the net working capital. The first year, the net working capital is 20. Okay, fine. In the next year, the net working capital has gone up from 20 to 30. So another 30 lakhs is going, another 10 lakhs is getting eaten away. Okay, there is a cash outflow. In next year, there will be cash outflow of 10. In the next year, because from 40 it has come down to 30, so there will be a cash inflow. Okay. Similarly, a cash inflow in the 4th year from 30 to 20. Fine. So we take only the change in working capital. So every year the working capital is changing. Okay, fine. And then in the final year, this 35 lakhs also you are getting this 10 plus 20 plus 30. So salvage value is terminal value is 35. So we are going to just add up everything. Fine. So operating cash flows will be this. So I'm just going to explain that. So this is your 25 minus 10, 15. Okay. This will be this. And this will be. So here it will go up. Your working capital has actually reduced. So it will bring cash to the company. Okay. Then in the final year, again, the working capital is getting reduced. So it will be adding up to the cash flow. In the final year, you are going to get the salvage value also. Fine. Is this clear to everyone? Is this point clear? Why? Yeah. Your working capital is changing, because in the last year, You know, if you see in the 4th year, the working capital was 20. So we have taken upfront all the, तो upfront में ले लिया तो इसलिए लास्ट में कोई वर्किंग कैपिटल नहीं होगा यहाँ पर. ओके फाइन. इज दैट ओके? अच्छा, यहां पर हमने रिकवरी ऑफ वर्किंग कैपिटल में, यहां देखो आप, यहां हमने 15 लिया हुआ है और यहां कितना था 20. यहां हमने यहां 15 कैसे लिया? फॉर्मूलाज, दिस बैड डेट है तो हमने यहां से माइनस कर दिया. ओके, जब हमने यहां से माइनस कर दिया तो हमें जो है कैश फ्लो के अंदर ये हमने, तभी हमने ये 5 हमने ऐड कर दिया था यहां पर, अदरवाइज विल बी डबल काउंटिंग. सी, अब दोबारा बताता हूं मैं आपको. यहां पर हमने जो ऑपरेटिंग कैश फ्लो निकाला था 24, इसमें हमने क्या करा, हमने इसमें ये प्लस ये, ओके, प्लस ये, तो इसमें हमने ये जो 5 लाख का बैड डेट था ये भी ऐड कर दिया. तो कैश ऑपरेटिंग कैश फ्लोज जो हैं, जो कंपनी के हैं 34 हैं, 24.85. ओके, सो दिस आर द ऑपरेटिंग कैश फ्लोज. ओके फाइन. सो वी हैव एक्सक्लूडेड दिस बैड डेट, बट व्हाइल कैलकुलेटिंग द टर्मिनल वैल्यू we have reduced this 20 minus this 5. So we have to do only reduction only once. Otherwise, it will be double counting. Okay. So that's why we have done like this. No. नहीं, क्यों ऐसा है? देखो, ये जो 15 है ये हमने 20 लगाया था, हमें 15 मिल रहा है. ओके, और हमें ये जो 5 यहां लिया हुआ है, हमें इससे इनकम टैक्स बेनिफिट मिल रहा है यहां पर, तो इनकम टैक्स हमारा रिड्यूस हो रहा है. तो दैट्स व्हाई वी आर कंसीडर्ड. ओके, हाँ, ये देखो आप, यहां देखो आप, यहां लिखा हुआ है वर्किंग कैपिटल, द बैड डेट लॉस विल बी टैक्स डिडक्टेबल. ओके, सो दैट्स व्हाई वी हैव कंसीडर्ड हियर. सो दिस 5 lakhs विल रिड्यूस. हाँ, हाँ, जो 30% है वो टैक्स बेनिफिट मिल जाएगा आपको. So that's why we are considered. Okay, so now we can just calculate our net operating cash flows. आगे 120 हो गया पहले साल, 100 इतना, फिर हमारा ये पॉजिटिव हुआ, ये पॉजिटिव हुआ, ये पॉजिटिव हुआ, ये पॉजिटिव हुआ. So we can calculate the net present value. So by using the formula net present value, ये लगाया हमने, और रेट कितना है हमारा 15%. What is the cost of capital? Let's go to the cost of capital. 12%, sorry. So here I'm going to use the NPV 12%. Okay, and choose all these values. Okay, and do OK. So I'll get 155.14, and I can calculate the net present value, which is your this minus this, और rather plus करना पड़ेगा क्योंकि minus sign उसको. So this 35.4 is the net present value. Okay, and similarly we can calculate the NPV and IRR. Okay, IRR is basically you all know that. So just go through this question. Have you followed this? I mean, what we can do is अब हम क्या करते हैं, इसको दोबारा आखिरी में इसको करते हैं. वी जस्ट रिमूव दिस. ओके फाइन. ओके, सो अक्षय क्या करो आप, जस्ट पुट योर दिस थिंग, और विनय कैन यू जस्ट पुट योर दिस थिंग एक्सेल शीट ऑन द, सो दिस इज द लास्ट वन विल बी डूइंग. ओके, जस्ट शेयर योर एक्सेल शीट. Vinay, just share your Excel sheet. Okay. Visible. And go to the answer. Go to the answer. And just make it 0. Everything. Just take off everything. Okay. So we'll just try to, complete this, whatever possible. Okay. Till the time. So we have got, I think, 12 minutes to go for the class. ओके, और ये टैक्स रेट भी हटा दो. 40% है टैक्स रेट. आई थिंक सम टैक्स रेट इज कमिंग रॉन्ग. टैक्स रेट भी हटा दो. हाँ, ओके. So now, who is going to, Pradyuman, can you tell me what is the capital investment? Yeah. Put up, so put a plus sign and bring the number from here. Put up equal to भी कर लो या plus to भी कर लो वो भी हो जाएगा. Putting a plus sign or putting a equal to, assume this is a formula. So many of you are actually used to putting a equal to. So equal to डाल दो. I have been using plus, so that's the problem. Okay, so this is a capital investment. What is the net level of working capital? Put a plus sign or put equal to and go to question. 20% of sales. 100. Go to 100. Enter. ये तो अभी हुआ नहीं. Into करो. नहीं, लेवल ऑफ वर्किंग कैपिटल तो हो गया. हाँ, तो रेवेन्यूज डाल दो. वो कह रहे हैं कि पहले रेवेन्यू डाल दो और हाँ पुट ऑल द रेवेन्यूज फर्स्ट. हाँ, पहले रेवेन्यू डाल दो, फिर वर्किंग कैपिटल कर देंगे. ठीक. हाँ, 100. ओके. हाँ. हाँ, ठीक है. हाँ, ओके. हाँ, ठीक है. इट्स ओके. हाँ, वो सही है. देन रॉ मटेरियल कॉस्ट, उसको भी परसेंटेज डाल दो यहाँ पर. रॉ 30%. वो 20% के नीचे 30% लिख दो यहाँ पर, बी कॉलम. हाँ, यहाँ 30% कर दो. और लेबर कॉस्ट 10%, नीचे वाले में 10% लिख दो. ओके, चलो ठीक है. हाँ, एंड देन जस्ट पुट द फॉर्मूला. या ओके. एंड हेयर 10%. 20% है. ओके. लेबर कॉस्ट कितनी है? ओके, ठीक है. ओके, देन दिस इज 5. बस 5 है. ऑपरेटिंग कॉस्ट कितनी है? 5. एंड लॉस ऑफ कंट्रीब्यूशन इज 15 है ना? 15. हाँ, या. हाँ, वो तो क्वेश्चन में ऐसा दिया हुआ है. इट कैन वेरी ऑल्सो. सो योर ऑब्जर्वेशन इज राइट. ओके. Depreciation, Vinay, you use your formula. Okay. Depreciation rate कितना है? हाँ, तो अब यहाँ 15% लगाओ and use your formula. Okay. शॉर्टकट मेथड लगाओ विनय. Okay, depreciation done. Okay, what is the bad debt? How much your company is losing? 5 in the 5th year. Okay, put 5. अब प्रॉफिट बिफोर टैक्स कर दो. वो सब करते जाओ, माइनस करते जाओ. हाँ, एब्सोल्यूट कस्टमर. हाँ, वो तो दिया हुआ है. अगर हर साल में दिया हुआ है, हर साल में अलग अलग दिया हुआ है, तो वी हैव टू डू इट एवरी ईयर. नाउ इन रियल लाइफ द बैड डेट कैन बी एवरी ईयर एज यू आर सेइंग. ओके. हाँ 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 या. बट होता क्या है, जिस साल आप राइट ऑफ कर रहे हो ना, उस साल आपको इनकम टैक्स बेनिफिट मिलता है. सो विल टॉक अबाउट दैट लेटर. One more thing, somebody was saying, if suppose bad debt. No, when the year in which you are going to write off the bad debt, you are going to get the tax benefit. Fine. If you are not going to write a bad debt, you are going to, हाँ, तो उसको या ठीक है, फाइन. हाँ, माइनस कर दिया, ठीक है. सो आपको आखिरी साल में वो मिल रहा है बैड डेट का बेनिफिट, सो यू आर रिड्यूसिंग इन द. ओके. हाँ, तभी हमने उसको आखिरी साल में लिया है. ओके. व्हाट इज द नेट सैलरी वैल्यू? ओके, रिकवरी ऑफ नेट विल बी 20 - 5. 20 - 5, ये 20 नहीं, पहला वाला नहीं, फोर्थ ईयर का 20 माइनस, बिकॉज लास्ट ईयर में आपकी 20 रह गई थी वर्किंग कैपिटल, जिसमें से 5 नहीं मिला. द 5, दिस 5. हाँ, ये आ गया, ठीक है. ओके, फाइन, दिस इज डन. नाउ गो बैक टू द कैपिटल इन्वेस्टमेंट फर्स्ट 0th ईयर. तो आपका नहीं, 100 दिखाओ, 100 दिखाओ जो आपकी कैपिटल इन्वेस्टमेंट. ओके. ऑपरेटिंग कैश फ्लोज, go to the first year, sorry, go to the first year, and then profit after tax plus depreciation. हाँ, बैड डेट भी ऐड हो जाएगा लास्ट ईयर में. 5th ईयर में यू आर गोइंग टू ऐड दैट 5 lakhs ऑल्सो. 5 lakhs. हाँ, ओके. Then net working capital with the change in working capital. So put a plus sign here or is equal to sign. Then 30 minus 20 or rather 20 minus 30. हाँ, तो इसको माइनस में आएगा ये फिगर, है ना, क्योंकि आपकी वर्किंग कैपिटल बढ़ रही है. अच्छा, ठीक है, ठीक है, ठीक है, ठीक है, ठीक है, कोई बात नहीं, कोई बात नहीं. गो एड, आई मीन टर्मिनल कैश बाद में एडजस्ट कर लेंगे इसको. हाँ, ठीक है, वो तो बढ़ रही है तो आपको ऐड ही करना पड़ेगा. ठीक है. टर्मिनल कैश फ्लो, गो टू द लास्ट वन, गो टू द 5th ईयर, गो टू द 5th ईयर स्टेट में. हाँ, अब वो 20 + 15 करो, 20 + 15, 30, 20 + 15. ओके. देन गो टू योर नेट दिस थिंग. हाँ, this 25 plus 10. Okay, and then just copy paste everything. नहीं नहीं, 5th ईयर में कुछ नहीं, खत्म हो गया. हाँ, यहाँ, हाँ, वहाँ वो ऊपर से आएगा, सबसे ऊपर से ये आ गया. ओके. और यहां पर जो है एक द लास्ट वन, एक यहां पर आपको 35 ऐड करना है. एच कॉलम में जो टर्मिनल कैश फ्लो है वो ऐड कर दो. इसको 120 कर दो और उसके आगे माइनस साइन लगा दो। हाँ वो भी करेगा, करो करो, इसके अंदर 35 भी ऐड कर दो यार। हाँ बहुत अच्छा, फर्स्ट क्लास, वेरी गुड। अब हाँ तो जो ऑपरेटिंग नेट ऑपरेटिंग कैश फ्लो जो है वो 25 था, 10 निकल गया, हाँ माइनस हुआ है, ठीक है। ओके, दिस इज reducing your this thing, okay, fine, is that okay, is every... अच्छा हाँ वही वही हो गया था, ठीक है। So just end up now. I think you have understood how to calculate this thing. So you can calculate your NPV, IRR. Yeah, कर लेना अपने आप. So the class is over now. So next time, what we are going to do is we are going to have a small quiz, okay, based on the capital budgeting and the cash flows. Okay, fine. Just go through the slides. Just go through the slides, and we have a quiz, which will be a Google form quiz next time, based on whatever we have studied so far. हाँ वो मैं शेयर कर देता हूँ, मैं शेयर कर देता हूँ, आई जस्ट शेयर दैट। हाँ एक्सेल भी शेयर करता हूँ नेक्स्ट टाइम, बी प्रिपेयर्ड फॉर एन एक्सेल, a quiz which will be on Google form, okay, we'll be doing during the class. Okay, have you all followed what we have done? I mean, it was you have understood more or less. चलो ठीक है, okay, see you next time then.